Hello and welcome to Season 2 of the Spirit Lounge podcast. With me, David.
And me, Glenda. And we are two psychic mediums from both sides of the pond.
Glenda is in Australia.
And David is in the UK.
And we're here to talk about, discuss and give our opinions on all things spiritual, including psychics and mediumship.
And if you've listened to the podcast before, you know how much we love to laugh while keeping it real, honest and down to earth.
As well as having those discussions, there'll also be guest interviews and maybe some other surprises.
So come with us now on our podcast journey and let's see what's happening in the Spirit Lounge for today's episode.
Hello listeners and welcome back to the Spirit Lounge. Hello Glenda, good evening to you.
Good morning to you, David, and hello listeners. Whatever time of day that you're listening to this, whether it's in the car, on the plane, or laying in bed, or just going and doing your exercising for the day.
You're cleaning your house. I know some people like Ollie Cox,
Yay!
when he's doing his hoovering, he'll listen to us. He's vacuuming.
Oh, well, shout out to Ollie. We've not mentioned him in a couple of episodes,
Yeah.
but I was thinking about him in that last episode when we were talking about something. Oh, bless him. I love Ollie.
We do like Ollie. But onto this topic. Now, this is a topic or a question which I've been asked quite a lot, and I think Glenda has as well. So we're going to give our viewpoint, our opinion on when is the right time to go professional. When's the right time? Well, when did we know even when it was the right time to start doing professional paid readings, when to take this work professional? And we're saying this because we're just discussing an issue, and what came up was the fact that, and I've heard it as well, that even professional mediums still say they're developing mediums. So we then we're having a discussion off camera or off microphone. When does that stop? When do we stop saying we are a developing medium or we're developing? So we're going to have that kind of conversation, just put our viewpoint on it. So Glenda,
Yes,
when
David.
I've got my own viewpoints on it, but when do you think we should stop calling ourselves developing mediums?
I think you need to stop calling yourself a developing medium when you're booking clients and taking money for doing mediumship readings. I think that once you've put in the work and you've set up professionally and people are coming to you and expecting a service and you are able to deliver, I think at that point you can call yourself a professional medium. Look, we are never going to stop developing, but that goes on in the background. That's different.
Let's say the same thing, yeah.
You know what I mean? So if you're taking money for those readings, at some point you're a professional. So I don't know how professional you might be. I mean, we all have self-doubt. We all think that sometimes we're not good enough and we have bad days. But if you're going to take money off people for readings, you have to deliver a service.
Yeah.
You have to be able to deliver and back up what you are offering. So until you step out onto that platform and are willing and capable and have fought all of your confidence and taken that leap of faith and go, I'm going to do it, I think at some point you have to own the name of it, the badge of honor of saying, I'm a professional. Am I right or am I wrong?
No, I agree. And the thing I want just to touch on there as well as what you said, which I was going to say as well, is that, look, we are always developing. We're always going to learn something new. And we all say that, the amount of mediums I've heard, even some very well-known ones have said, no, I'm still developing. No, I'm still, yes, we are. Of course we are. But any profession does that. But as you said, Glenda, it happens in the background. And so it really depends on what you term as developing. So, I mean, for example, look, if you look at a doctor, for example, I wouldn't go to a doctor who says, "Oh, I'm a developing doctor," would you? You're like, no.
I'm a practicing doctor
You want
that
to?
pay me for a hundred and something dollars for your fee, but I'm just practicing on
I'm
you.
just practicing. So no, you don't say that because look, doctors are always going to learn because there's always new medicines coming up, always new ways of treating things. I'm sure they go on different
Yeah,
courses as well to, to
they have to.
upskill themselves. But they're still a doctor, they're still a professional. But that development
Yeah.
goes on in the background. So again, you wouldn't go to,
Mhm.
to a doctor who says, "Oh, I'm a developing doctor." No, of course you wouldn't. The same would apply to mediums. That
Yeah.
we still develop. I'm still developing. Every time I do a platform, I'm learning something new. But I am
Yep.
not a developing in inverted commas medium. I'm still learning, but my development happens. Oh, well, I've been doing this 10 years now. So I would have thought and hoped and thought that by this point, as you said in the previous episode, our apprenticeship is done and we're now
Yeah.
out there doing this professionally. When you're taking money from people, that is a business transaction. Therefore, that is part of
Absolutely.
your living, that is part of your job. Therefore, you are a professional. If you're at a point in your development where you are literally still developing, no, you're still developing your link to spirit and figuring things out, then that's a bit different because you are in development. You're actually in
Yeah.
those early, that's not a developing medium, but you are in your early years of development. And that will always
Yeah.
continue. But as you said, Glenda, there needs to come a point where you go, right, I'm at this point now where I know I feel right to start charging and doing whatever, but I will still continue to develop certain areas of my mediumship. And
Absolutely.
some of the greats that have now passed that have said they developed right up until the day they died.
Hey, I'm
That
still going to come to the UK and train. I'm still going to do
absolutely,
that. I'm a
yeah,
professional, but I'm upskilling myself. It's like, a hairdresser keeps going to courses to learn new things that she is the way she's going to cut, the way she's going to mix color, the way that she's going to bring new styles in. Well, we need to upskill as well. We need to keep on top of that, that getting the best of our connection, learning
yeah,
different ways that we can connect, all of that sort of thing. But, and a lot of it is for us is just being around other mediums and just having a good time. You know what I mean? It's kind of like being in that energy and being able to practice doing different skills with other mediums when you go into those sort of developing and upskilling weekends away, or, when I always go, the funny thing is the people that come to teach you, or, a tutor that's coming to town, or you're going, for instance, to the Arthur Finlay College, we say, oh yeah, well, I'm going to train with that person. They're really good. But are they really good? Or is it just they can show you different ways of pushing yourself? Do you know what I
mm,
mean? It's you're really good. We're all really good. We're all unique in the way that we do our mediumship. But it's so good to see how other mediums work. It's so good to be able to go and tweak the way that you work, if I'm going to say that, the way that how much deeper you can get your evidence. So you're never going to stop developing,
no,
but you have
exactly.
to come to that point where you go, I'm taking money now. I am a professional in some way. I have to class myself as a professional, and you have to be able to be professional.
Yeah, you have to own
It,
it effectively. Otherwise, no one would be a professional medium because we're continually developing. It's like, so where does that cycle end then? It has to come
that's right.
somewhere where you go, right, now's time to start doing it. So for you, Glenda, I've asked you a question. When was there a catalyst or was there a particular point in your journey where you went, okay, now is the right time to start charging, or I feel ready now to start charging for my services?
I used to do lots of things for free. Um, I used to read friends. I used to practice all of that sort of stuff, and I did not have the guts to charge. I come from that background of We shouldn't charge for our gifts. My mum used to say you shouldn't charge people for readings because she never charged anyone. And I'm like, yeah, but I've got to eat. At some point, I've got to pay for these courses, these, that I'm going on. And my training costs a lot of money. Everything that I train with is either UK or the States, which is nearly double what I'm paying here. So I have to pay for that. How am I going to pay for that? I don't know how much people outlay. We all outlay a lot of money for our development. And I started doing it, and then it was another reader in town. She kind of said, "You're really good at what you do. You should consider doing this." No way. No way was I ready. She kind of pushed me into it and said, I used to go along to the fairs, the spiritual gatherings of the weekend, and there was 50 readers all set up and healers. I think they have that. Is that what they call them? Fairs over there?
Yeah, psychic fairs.
Psychic fairs, right?
Yeah.
So they have this sort of thing here as well. And I used to just go along and just help. I'd be selling the crystals in the tent and, selling all the stuff, working for free, helping out, all of that sort of stuff, being a volunteer. And I started doing some, um, seeing this lady, and she'd be going, come and practice this with me and come and do this. And we'll do meditations of that. And she's like, you're really good at what you do. And everyone used to say to me, you're really good. You're just as good as your mum, if not better. And I'm like, no, no, I couldn't own it. I couldn't do that. And she said, the next one that comes along, I want you to set up and do readings. I can't do that. Yes, you can. That was my first stepping out. And it was like shitting my pants. And she goes, yeah, look, just charge $50. What's that? 25, £30, something
Oh,
like
like that.
that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
$50 and do as many as you're ready to do. And I was shitting my pants. I swear, I was so nervous. I was shaking. I was like literally sick. I couldn't sleep. I was like, oh my God. I didn't even have a sign. The woman made me a sign, like a laminated sign. It was so funny. And you know what? There was no way on earth that I could call myself a psychic medium when I first started. No
Yeah,
way. No chance. For years, I did not call myself a psychic medium. For
yeah.
years, I didn't even call myself a medium. I used to go under mystical gypsy. It was like the mystical gypsy because we're from the gypsy, we're from the gypsies. And I did that for ages. And, that started off. I was a hit. Everyone wanted a reading with me. And then I said, okay, I'm going to do little readings. And then people were like, can I book you? Can I come see you privately? And that's all it took. People were coming and seeing me privately. For years, I called my mystical gypsy until I got to the point where I felt like I outgrew that name. I
Yeah,
felt like it didn't fit with me no longer. This feels icky now. It feels like an amateur.
yeah.
I felt like it was like amateur. And that's when I'm like, how am I going to come up with my name? How am I going to come up with saying that I'm a psychic medium? And then we've even put in that I'm a psychic medium. But I debated with my friends going, but I'm not a medium. I'm not a medium. I can't say that I'm a medium. And even to this day, I still struggle with people out there calling themselves psychic mediums if you're not offering a mediumship reading. You should not be able to say that you're a psychic medium if you can't offer mediumship because people come to you expecting mediumship readings
Shit. Yeah.
unless you just call yourself a psychic, but you see people call themselves clairvoyant and that sort of thing. I can take that because they're not offering mediumship readings.
Mm.
I struggled with it. And people would come and see me, oh, do you do mediumship? No. Oh God, no, no, no. I didn't have the confidence. And I would say, no, I only do psychic readings. I only do psychic readings. And it went on for ages and ages. And then the mediumship just kept butting on in and it just kept coming into the readings. And then I'm like, do you know what? I need to do some more work around this. I need to understand this a bit more. I need to be able to um, learn this or understand what is happening with, the way that you evolve, the way that
Yeah.
it's coming at you, and you're like, you don't want to say the wrong thing. Am I saying the wrong thing? Oh my God. Sometimes I think back in the day, I would just be going, oh, I'm getting like your mother here. I'm doing a Teresa Caputo. And I think now I cringe at what I used to do and what came out of my mouth until I went into development. And I
Mm.
believe that everyone should have some development. You can see the people that have no development. You can see the reading, the way that it doesn't flow. It's stop start. Like you can just see it. Um, until I went into development, and that's when I started to really step into it. But even then, even up until last year, I was like doing the events, coming over to the UK, getting up on stage, doing mediumship readings. I still couldn't own that I'm a medium. I still
Yeah.
couldn't until I went and done my own events here, and I just went, oh, I'm a medium. At the end of it, I was in the hall by myself, taking that moment to just sit there to give thanks to the spirit world. And I just went, I'm a medium. And I heard, yeah, you are. Own it. I'm a medium. And I'm like talking to myself, going, I'm a medium. I just gave everyone mediumship readings. Oh, I'm a medium. I still sometimes struggle to own it.
Yeah.
And
No, I get that.
but that's just kind of like human nature, isn't it?
Mm.
It's not coming from that ego going, yeah, I'm a great medium, but it's slowly it rubs off on you slowly. It's falling into place. And I think that's the way it should be. It should be just organically falling into place. It shouldn't be forced.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what about you, David? Could you come out and go, I'm a psychic medium straight up?
No, I was told I did a 4-week development circle with a well-known UK psychic who's been on TV. And he said to me, he said, look, own it. He said, call yourself, say, David, I'm David and I'm a psychic medium, or meet or whatever term you want upon it. Because again, like you, it was just very odd to say, I'm David and I'm a medium. Even still now saying that,
Mhm.
it feels a bit odd.
Weird.
But you have to get to a point where you do own it. If that's what you're doing, if that's what was part of your life, if that's what's part of your living, then you have to own it. And so I trademarked my name, David H. Medium
Yeah,
name.
me too.
I trademarked that. Um, and I guess my kind of way of owning, okay, this is what I am, this is what I do. But when it came to start to charge money, it wasn't really, I don't remember it being a conscious thing of, right, today for this first reading, I'm going to charge. It didn't feel like that to me because like you, I did a year's worth of free readings.
Mhm.
And when I said that to a woman who was also a medium, she kind of laughed at me disappointingly. I remember it's clear as day. I was at a psychic fair at the church, and she was running one of the crystal stalls. And I'd only been developing about 2 years, and I was still doing free readings. And she sat down next to me and said, "How much are you charging for your readings then?" And I said, "I'm not." And she shook her head and went, "No, no, 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 no."
Mhm.
I've been told off. And her words to me were, how can you possibly value yourself, value
Mhm.
spirit, and value your ability if you're just giving yourself away for free all the time?
Absolutely.
And I've learned that along the way, and very much in the last couple of years, um, that's really hit home. And it's true. It is. Look, there are people out there, mediums out there, who will do all the reasons for free. If you want to do that, do it. That's fine, but don't judge other people for charging for it, because like
Absolutely.
any ability, any gift, any talent that you have, and you do it as your job, then you are going to charge for it. As we've said before, Glenda, this is not a hobby.
Yeah.
This is not what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of the word. um but this is not just a hobby,
An
just
interest.
an
An
interest. It's not
interest.
just a guilty pleasure. That's what I was looking for. That's not what this is. This is part of our life. It's part of how we make our living. And like anybody else, and
Our
we've said this
beliefs.
before, so I believe it sounds like I'm a broken radio because I've said this so many times before, but
Yeah.
um if you are a medium and you are developing and you're thinking about, okay, when do I start charging? we can't really tell you that. That's a you
Mm.
thing, because
Hmm.
sometimes it comes from not a logical place of I must start charging now, but it comes from a place of conscience where some people go, look, I can't charge for this. Or if I start charging for it, that means that I've really got to be spot on. I've really got to be able to deliver. But that only comes where with development. If you're in early development and you're not sure that you can deliver everything, then no, maybe the time is not right for you to start charging. But when you look at your own development, look at where you are, look at what you have been able to deliver, then you can look at that and go, well, do you know what? I feel ready. Or like you, like both of us, we might you might have someone say to you, why are you not charging for this? Why are you doing all
Mm.
this for free? And that could be your catalyst. So there could be like a catalyst, there could be some little sign that says to you, right, now's the time to start charging. But again, it's a you thing. You have to come to terms with yourself, your conscience, and but in your ability and that confidence in your ability. Yes, now I can because I am a professional. Yes, I'm always going to learn, as we've said. However, I know I'm at a place in my development where I am good enough to charge for this service. So again, people, you've got to make that decision yourself. You can't put a timeline on it. Some people might do free readings for 3 years and then start charging. Some people might do it for 6 months, then start charging. You can't put a timeline on it. I'm not going to put a timeline on it because it's very individual for each person because our development is individual.
Scary.
So
It's
you can't say
scary.
now, now, now. And it is scary because once you start charging, that is it. You can't then say, "Oh, I'm not charging anymore after that." No, you've set that precedent now. You continue. And then this, you do have that pressure of, okay, now I've really got to deliver. I really can't be shit. I've really got to get. But remember, even though that's the case, even now though, I still go through that. I mean, I've got readings all this week. Got a reading in a couple of hours' time, and already in my head, I'm thinking, what if nothing happens? And again, it's really stupid. It's really stupid. But because we want to do our best, we want to deliver. We don't want to look silly. And people might say, yeah, it's part of the ego. That's a part of the normal part of the ego, though. Any job that
Yeah.
you do, if you go into work in an office or into a shop or wherever it might be, you want to do your best. It's not an
Let's hope they
alien.
do.
Yeah, it's not an alien thing, right? So it's the natural part of the ego that we want to do. We want to do the best for our bosses. In our
Mm.
case, it's spirit. So, that's the natural part. And so you are going to have that self-imposed pressure of, okay, if I'm going to charge, I have to deliver. And but
And
people say, well, what's the
it
worst
the
can happen? If it doesn't work out, refund them. But
yeah,
I don't like
but
doing
the
that.
no, no. And touch wood, I've not had to do that. The other thing is you've got nothing to fall back on. So when you get going, you don't have, if you're sick, someone to cover for you. You don't have, if I can't do this, someone else to pick up for you. This is your name, this is your reputation, this is your everything that goes with that. So if you're going to step out and be that professional, you've got to own all of that. You have to own
Absolutely.
the responsibility that goes with it, the ethics that go with it, and how you present yourself. So
Yeah.
think about all of those sort of things when you step out. I
Yeah.
remember stepping out and going, I used to just be real casual, Sometimes half the time I was in my gym gear and it got to a point where I'm like, that's so manky. How I'm like showing up when I first began. Oh, just, wearing my gym gear, my singlets and whatever else. You've got to have some sort of, I don't know, respect for yourself when you do this sort of thing. I don't know. Am I being a bit judgmental? But
No, no, I agree. I mean, I agree. You have to. I don't expect anyone to sit there suited and booted, but you've got to be comfortable
nice.
in
Yeah.
your clothes. But you've got to look respectable. I wouldn't,
Respectable.
even in a hot sunny day in the summer. It's baking outside. I still wouldn't sit
Mm.
there in a vest, like a Nike Smart. But I still wouldn't do that. I'd still have a t-shirt on, like I've got on today, and my jogging bottoms or whatever else, but people can't see that part. But I would still show up that way. But it's about valuing yourself as well. It's about
Yeah.
valuing the work you do, valuing the effort you've put into your development, which is why Glenda and I always talk about how important development is and not just rushing straight into doing readings. It's working on
It's,
yourself, it's
it's it.
working on your development. So you have the confidence to go, right, I've developed this, I've developed that, I'm now ready to go out there and start doing my readings and charging
It's
for
your
them.
brand.
It
It's your
is.
brand.
Oh, absolutely. That's an important word. It is your brand because
I
people will
am
talk about
never,
you.
I will never turn up with no makeup on, my hair half like I've just got out of bed, which I've seen people do, but that's because I have respect for myself
Yeah.
and I have respect for the person turning up. Do you go to work looking like shit? You don't go to a workplace looking half asleep and looking like shit. So why are you going to turn up like that for your own business?
Yeah.
Have that respect and that self-value to do that because the way you show up is what you're going to attract at the end of the day.
Absolutely. Yeah. And talking about that as well, Glenda, about
Mm.
attracting, you could equate money to that. We've talked about this before. When I first
Hmm.
started, I used to only charge 25 quid for read and
Wow.
I'd be there for bloody ages with them.
Yeah, I used to
Um
do 2 hours for $50, which is
so
probably the same.
and yeah, and you look at it now and you go,
Yes.
oh my God, how did I
How
and it's
did that
also look, it
happen?
wasn't yeah, I mean it wasn't a bad thing because it's your starting point, right? But
Yes, I just start with something.
it's
It doesn't matter if it's 10 quid, it's 50 quid, it's 100 or $100, whatever, $10, whatever. It doesn't matter. But I always believe if you're going to start and you're going to charge, if you want that respect, like you said, that person to value what you're giving, you need to charge because it's an exchange of energy.
yeah,
If you're constantly giving free, 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 there is no exchange of energy here. You are going to become drained and you're going to stop what you're doing because you're
yeah,
not being valued because the seagulls are coming for their free fish and chips and they're just going to move on to the next medium that's giving the free fish and chips out. So at some point you have to value yourself, your gift and your connection and the person in front of you and spirit.
yeah, absolutely. And when it comes to putting a price on it, people will also say, what should I charge? Again, we can't tell you that.
I tell you,
You have to be
comfortable.
comfortable in the price that you're charging. And yes, over time, with more development and experience, it will increase. But in the
Yeah.
place that you're at, you have to be comfortable in what you are charging. And no one can tell you that or what that is. You've got to put a price on that. Don't overprice yourself. Don't price yourself out of the market either. But be honest with yourself. Look at your where you are in your development and go, okay, what do I feel I'm worth at this time? And it will
Mhm.
change. And at the moment, I'm quite comfortable with what I'm charging. And I was told many times over the years I should be charging more, but I have to be comfortable in where I am. Even when I started charging 50 quid, a part of me was a bit like, is that too much? But then you look at other mediums out there who are charging more than like triple that price. You think, okay, I think I'm doing all right at 50 quid. But for me, honestly, it wasn't me valuing myself enough. But that's just been my problem in life in general anyway, is not valuing
Mhm.
my skills or talents or whatever it might be. But that's beside the point. But anyway, going back to the point. Yeah, it's about being comfortable with where you're at the time, charging what you feel is right to charge. Um, and one thing to think about is, do you know, it's doesn't sound awful, but the cheaper you are will reflect on the clients that you get.
100%.
And what I mean by that is,
And
if
this
I put
isn't
it,
coming from a judgmental
no, well, I'm trying to
place.
put it in
This
a,
is because we've both been through it and
yeah,
we've experienced it. And this is something that we've learned from.
yeah. What I want the kind, if I put it a different way, what I want personally for me and my business is for people to want a reading from me because they want a reading from me.
Mm.
And so if I was cheaper than I was, I would get people just wanting a reading because they want a reading. I don't want that, which is why I don't tend to do
Either.
Facebook readings anymore because people come on there because it's free and they get a freebie. not because they particularly want a reading from me, but just because they want any old reading. And I feel that mediumship, even psychic readings, hold more value than that. So if
Mhm.
someone wants a reading with me, I know they'll pay me to have a reading with me, not just because they want to see what happens or, they're not bothered. So do you know what I mean? I want people to be bothered. I want people to come for reading because they want to work with me. They're interested in or they value um my skill set, my ability. If I was charging
That's right.
25 quid, you'd have any old
Everyone will be
person.
booking.
And I
Absolutely.
and I personally don't want that. Other people might, and that's absolutely fine. So again, it's no judgment, but it's just
Yeah,
thinking about, okay, who you want to work with, what do you want to offer, what value do you have in mediumship? If everything is free, 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 or cheap as chips, there's not so much value in that, in my personal opinion, because look, there are people who have bought tickets to my online events for 10 quid, 5 or 10 quid, and have not shown up. They've not asked a refund. Not
exactly.
not they're going to get it anyway. But so it's for some people, oh, it's just five. I won't bother turning up, and they've taken the spot from someone else that could
Someone
have
else.
genuinely wanted to join that demonstration that I was doing. And so again, you
Hmm.
have to look at that and go, okay, where is the value? How do I value myself? How do I value spirit? How do I value the work that I do, the skill set that I've built up? Like hairdressers go and train. Some of them train at really expensive hairstyling schools to go and do that work. Are they then going to come back and go, I've done all that training for that many years. I'm now going to charge a fiver for a haircut? No, of
Yeah.
course they're not.
No,
They
no.
might get loads of clients, but they don't value it.
But they end up and this is what we're saying. You charge a low price, you're going to be booked up for months and months. You're going to
Yeah,
get what you want. If you're happy with that, do it.
absolutely. Yeah.
At some point, you get to a point where you burn out and you get certain clientele that you don't want to read anymore because there's no respect, and you will have to increase your price to get the clientele that you want. As soon as my clientele starts dropping or I am way too busy, I put my price up because I need to be valued. I want to be valued. I want them to come for me, for what I offer, not because I'm the same price as everyone down the road. I want them to book with me because they want to book with me, just the same as you, David, because
Absolutely.
they've heard from such and such, she's really good. I've been to her, she's really good. I am so happy with her. I've been to him, he was brilliant. He brought my mum through. He was so spot on with the evidence, not just to come to go, yeah, I've had a reading with him. Yeah, I've had one with him, and I've had one with her, and I've had one with him, and I've had one with her. Not that. You want clients that come back all the time. I have clients that come back all the time, every year, a couple times a year. I don't want to see them all the time, but they're the loyal
Mhm.
clients that come back. That's what you want to establish, a good clientele basis.
Yeah.
Not every
Then
Tom, Dick, and Harry, but that's us. That's
that's
just the
just
way that we roll.
that's just how we see it. And also, when if you are doing everything for free, think about it this way, people, as well. If you are a medium doing the work and you're doing it for free, again, if you want to do it, do it, but don't judge other people who do charge. Like, I see that a lot online. I saw the other day, some guy said, "Oh, who do these mediums think they are when they're doing a special? They charge half price, like they charge half the ticket fee." I'm
Don't they,
thinking,
mate?
then don't. And this is the medium saying that. And like, don't stand on your pedestal making out you're all spiritual, then you're slagging off people who actually who are doing the right thing, taking 50% of the ticket. But that's how specials work in churches. 50-50. Church gets 50, medium gets 50, because we're doing the work after all. But it's going to stand there and judge other people for doing it. If you don't want to do that, if you want to do it an hour and a half worth of work for free, that's your issue. You do it. If you've got someone
That's
to pay
right.
your bills for you, congratulations.
And
Marvelous.
pay for the fuel
Yeah,
now? Good luck.
here's a gold medal for you. She's doing everything for free. Well done. Here's the certificate which says well done, martyr. There you go. But don't slag
But
other people off for earning a living.
at the end of the day, it comes down to time. You can't get time back. Time is not
No.
replaceable.
No.
Money is, material things are, everything is, but time isn't. You'll never get that time back. So you, David, traveling 3 hours to do that demonstration at that church for a what, a 25 quid, and old mate's whinging about that. You've taken time out of your work, your actual day job work. You've taken time away from your partner and your life and everything, your housework and everything else that you have to catch up for 25 quid. Comes down to time. Your
Yeah.
time has to be paid. You don't go to work for free.
No
You
one
go to your day
does.
job
No,
for free.
no, absolutely. Got to put a bit of tangent here, but it's just to get just to get the point across. It's valuing yourself, and because if
That's
you're giving
it.
everything away for free, what's going to happen is that same client is going to go to the next person who's also free or
Mm-hmm.
cheap. And what's that do to your morale as a medium? How would you feel knowing you've worked your ass off to give someone a message?
Mm-hmm.
They've gone, yes, thank you very much, and they've gone to the next medium straight away.
Mm-hmm.
How does that make you feel as how would that make you feel as a me? People don't think about that. So these Facebook lives, look, they reach people, they reach people, and some
We get
people
their
they help,
likes. Yeah.
you know, but some it might help some clients. But that I we know for sure because we've seen it. That person's on that Facebook live, they get the message. The next day, they're on someone else's live, also after another message. So you
Absolutely.
mediums out there developing, you've got to look at yourself, look at your value, look at what you're worth. Are you being valued by again working your ass off for that client, giving them that reading, and the next day that off to someone else? They've not valued you because you've not put a value on it.
And
So
there
you've got
goes your time and your energy gone.
and your morale and that
Yeah.
self-confidence because someone that they've taken your message and then gone to someone else to get another one.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got to look at that as well to real value. This is not about just give. There are people out there on their pedestals, all high mighty or holy, and now going, well, we're just working for spirit. Yes, we are. But do you think spirit want us to be broke as well? Absolutely not.
No,
If spirit want us to do this work and do it full time, then they know that we need to be recompensed to be able to do it full time. Otherwise, we can't. And it's as simple as that. And I
mm-hmm.
know that my spirit team do not want me to be bankrupt, or you, or the next medium listening to this. Value
No.
yourself. No spirit have got your back. They do not want you to be
Yeah.
sat on, to be sat on a cloud playing a harp, being all holy and love, no love and light. That's not what it's about. This is real life. We are not in
No.
spirit. We are humans doing spiritual work. We still need to live
That's
and find
right.
the value
I
in
know.
ourselves.
Spirit know that I want to go back to the UK. They're going to help me get back to the UK. I'm just asking for their assistance, their help. So if they think that I'm valued enough as well, like I put a lot of faith in spirit world, as much
Yeah,
as I put it in me, and I talk about manifesting and all that sort of stuff. I do the work, but I also say to spirit, keep bringing me clients. If you think that I can help someone, bring them to me. If you
yeah,
think that I would align with that spirit person, bring them to me. And that's how I work. That intention is set out there. So set those intentions for yourself. We want to see you thrive. Everyone around you wants you to succeed. So, you have to put in that work and that respect for yourself. Because if you don't respect yourself, no one else will.
absolutely. Absolutely. RSPCT. There you go. I won't burst into song. Don't want to hear that. But
He'll
I think
start he'll start playing with his feathers in the background. He's got a beautiful little fan that says nice words on it,
I can't. Yeah,
David.
we can't say that here. We can't use
No.
that word here. But before no, you get me into trouble, Glenda, or I get myself into trouble. Let's finish this episode here. Um, I think a good topic to talk about. Hopefully, it's given people out there some things to think about when you are thinking about going professionally. No, just look, just value yourself, empower, no, feel empowered. That's and respect. That's kind of the main messages here. So yeah, I think we'll finish it there. So
Yeah.
Glenda, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure as always.
Well, we will catch up with everyone once again. Send
Yes.
through your little questions that you have that we can have a chat with, and we'll go from there.
Yeah. So people, thank you very much as always for listening, and we'll see you again in the Spirit Lounge. Thank you for joining us in the Spirit Lounge for today's episode. We hope you enjoyed what you heard. And if you did, please like and share the podcast. And if you can, please leave us a comment or review, as it really helps us out.
And if you want to hear us talk about a particular topic or have a question you'd like our viewpoint on, then email them to us on either davidhmedium@outlook.com or glenda-marie1@hotmail.com, and we'll get to them as soon as possible.
Lastly, if you'd like to connect with us individually and book our services, you can check out our websites. Glenda's website is www.glendamariepsychicmedium.com.
And you can find David at www.davidhmedium.co.uk.
For now, it's bye from me.
And it's bye from me.
Join us again soon in the Spirit Lounge.